just can't help myself. You can see it's delaminated. This bow is obviously not something that I would build. It is, however, something that I have been asked to repair. This is the repair we're looking at. Let's see if I can see right through that. You can see it's delaminated. That's the problem with this particular bow. It's tough to see where all of the delamination has occurred. And truth of the matter is, it's not really delaminated, because if you look from this side, it's separated from the fiberglass on the bottom side. And if you look at it from this side, it's separated from the fiberglass on the top side. Now this is a diamond wood lamination in here, and what I think has occurred, just based upon the coloration of the wood, because it goes from black to blue to gray. And so it goes from black to gray over here. And I think the blue lamination of the diamond wood actually separated and delaminated from the other surface, from the gray surface, I guess, of that diamond wood. So I think the damage here, or the failure, occurred in the lam, in the core lam, not on the glue lines. And I have kind of wrapped off all of the exposed parts, because I'm going to be handling this bow all over the place in order to get the new glue, or the new epoxy, down into this void. Going to be using EA40. It's my old standby. But, you know, some things that we're going to do specifically is go ahead and mix this up as directed, and then really let it get warm and really get it to a viscous state where it'll flow into these cracks. All right, I've been allowing this epoxy to warm up now for probably 15 or 20 minutes. This gives you a little better look at what's going on in terms of that delamination that is occurring here. And I have also been letting the whole bow just kind of sit out here in the sun and on the top of this is a trash can, to heat everything up, or to at least get it warm throughout. And I guess I should mention, because I failed to mention before, that I did manage to get like some sandpaper in here in between the laminations to kind of scuff things up, and cleaned everything out with acetone, just to get a good adhesion. So that is part of the prep work that has occurred here. All right, I've been mixing this stuff, and it is definitely warm. You can see how it's just running there. And it's just going to be a matter of real generous application into this void, and making as little mess as possible in the process. And what I'm really going to try and do is just empty it all, into that void almost entirely, and then let it all squeeze back out. That's why I took a lot of care in protecting this bow, all the finishes on this bow up to this point, so that I can be messy when it comes time to getting all the epoxy put in place. So you can see I'm just putting the epoxy down in there. I'm going to get as much down in, and then float into the extreme edges as best I can, both with the real fine tipped applicator here, as well as with compressed air. So we're going to kind of make a multifaceted approach at getting this stuff everywhere. All right, after some quick working around, you can see that I've got this limb wrapped, and it's down tight with all the glue in there, of course, or the epoxy rather. I think as we go along getting this wrapped down, I'm probably going to try and match the curve on this side that I've got on this side, just to ensure that we got the right tension on this particular limb. And what I'm doing here is putting down my little pressure strips right here. And I just have a bunch of tape laid up just in case I needed it. So this would be exactly why I have it. That scenario right there. I gotta be careful. I got a lot of epoxy out here on this piece of plastic wrap that I'm dealing with. And I'm going to start at the center, guys, and wrap to the extremities so that I can try and force the epoxy exactly in that direction, out to the extremities. All right, guys, well, this is the part where you say a little prayer that things turn out the way you expect them to turn out. And if you're not a God-fearing man, you just cross your fingers and wait. Either way, it is out of our control at this point. So we're going to give 48 hours, I guess. I'm going to give this bow 48 hours to cure. Got everything cleaned up here, and it really does look like things turned out pretty well. The little white shadowing that you see there is from the original delamination. So you can see that we were able to flow the epoxy well past the 2 bolts that I removed to get up into this space here. And nice clean lamination in through here. Now there was also a spot on the back side. All right, and then on the back side, you can just see this ghost of a line right there. So that is the, we flowed the epoxy all the way up to that point. But that is the fix insofar. So I'm actually very encouraged by what I am seeing here. And then got it set up. I got a piece of tape right across the back here to help me index how far the wraps go. So the wraps start like on this one out to here. I'm just going to wrap and out to the tape. And the reason I use tape and don't strike a line on there even with like just a white chalk or something like that would be that once you wrap up to it, it can be a real bear to get your mark off of the glass of the bow. Tape will of course just lift right off. All right, guys, well, here's the repair. It's done at this point. I have not strung it up or anything yet to check on it, but you can see the got the wrap in place, the original wrap that was there. Here's maybe a little better look at that. lamination work on the belly side of the pony bow. And just a little more in here. So the delamination ran from like here all the way through the center core piece and on into this mark right here. That entire piece was delaminated. I mean, I've got everything back together now, but at any rate, I'm going to give this thing another 24 hours to finish curing out completely, and then we're going to shoot it. And everything seems to be pretty good here. I'm going to go ahead and string it. The repair's holding, not any issues. I guess now take a few test shots with it and see how it does. At this point, I've taken probably 25, 30 shots through here. As far as the repair is concerned, it seems to be behaving rather nicely. There initially it was kind of taking some creaky noises, but I think that was just some excess epoxy that ended up in between the main bow and the pony lamb that just had to make way for use. But other than that, yeah, really pretty pleased with the way that turned out. So, see, that was the delaminated limb right there. So, turned out good.